In this lesson, we are going to study triangles. How can we find angle measures in a triangle? Find measure of angle K. This is read as measure of angle K. The M over here is read as measure of. Now remember, in any triangle, if you add up all the three angles, the sum should be 180 degrees. So now in this triangle KJL, let us find out what is the value of x. So it's going to be x plus 70 plus 25 should be equal to 180. How much is 70 plus 25? So x plus 95 is equal to 180. Now we need to find the value of x. So we need to remove plus 95. How will we remove plus 95? We subtract 95 on both sides. So x is equal to 180 minus 95. 85 degrees. So the measure of angle K is equal to 85 degrees. So again, the sum of all the angles in a triangle should be always equal to 180 degrees. Can a triangle have two right angles? Two obtuse angles? Think about it. Can a triangle have two right angles and two obtuse angles? No. Two right angles measure 180 degrees. So the third angle would be 0. Because remember, in a triangle, if you add up all the three angles, the sum should be equal to 180 degrees. And there cannot be two obtuse angles because already they will be equal to more than 180 degrees. So what is an obtuse angle? The angle which is greater than 90 degrees. So in a triangle, you cannot have two right angles and you cannot have two obtuse angles. Triangles can be classified by their angles or by their sides. Now let us look at the classification of triangles by angles. If all the three angles of a triangle are acute angles, it is called acute triangle. What do you mean by acute angle? Acute angle is always less than 90 degrees. So if all the angles in a triangle are less than 90 degrees, are acute angles, then the triangle is called an acute triangle. If one angle in a triangle is 90 degrees, then it is called a right triangle. If one angle in a triangle is obtuse angle, the triangle is called an obtuse triangle. And what is an obtuse angle? Obtuse angle is greater than 90 degrees. So the angles are classified, the triangles are classified based on angles. If all the angles in a triangle are acute, it's called acute triangle. If one angle is 90 degrees, it is called a right triangle. And if one angle is obtuse, it is called an obtuse triangle. The triangles are classified based on sides. If all the sides of a triangle are congruent, meaning equal, then it is called an equilateral triangle. If only two sides of a triangle are equal, it is called an isosceles triangle. If no sides of a triangle are congruent, it is called a scalene triangle. So this is the classification based upon the sides of the triangle. Let's work out some problems. Find the missing angle measure. Then classify the triangle by its angles and by its sides. Let us find the missing angle measure. We know that if we add up all the angles in a triangle, it should be equal to 180 degrees. So x plus 68 plus 54 should be equal to 180. So 68 plus 54 is how much? X plus 122 equals 180. Now x plus 122 is equal to 180. We need to find x. How will we remove plus 122? We minus 122 on both sides of the equal sign. So x is going to be equal to 180 minus 122, which is equal to 58 degrees. Now, are all the sides of the triangle different? So no side is congruent. Therefore, the triangle is a scalene triangle. Scalene triangle. Are all the angles in a triangle acute? This is 68 degrees, less than 90, so it's acute. 54 degrees, acute. And we found out x to be 58 degrees, acute. So the triangle is an acute triangle. Let's look at this. Let us find the measure of angle x. If we add up all the angles in a triangle, it should be equal to 180. So x plus, how much is this? 90 plus 39 is equal to 180. And 90 plus 39, x plus, how much is 90 plus 39? 129 is equal to 180. How do you remove plus 129? We subtract 129 on both sides. So x is equal to 180 minus 151 degrees. This is 14 centimeters, 17 centimeters, 22 centimeters. All the three sides of a triangle are different. So what type of a triangle is this? Based upon its sides, it is a scalene triangle. Scalene triangle. Now let's look at the angles. Is one angle 90 degree? So what type of a triangle is this based upon the angle? It is a right triangle. Right triangle. Let's look at this. Find the measure of angle x. So x plus 48 plus 66 should be equal to 180. 48 plus 66 is equal to 114 equals 180. How will we remove plus 114? We subtract 114 on both sides of the equal sign. So x is equal to 180 minus 114, sorry. 114. So 180 minus 114 is 66 degrees. Now, are the two sides of the triangle equal? Yes. So if the two sides of the triangle are equal, what type of a triangle is this based upon its sides? It is an isosceles triangle. Isosceles triangle. Let's look at the angles. One angle is 66 degrees. Acute angle. 48 degrees. Acute angle. 66 degrees again. Acute angle. So what type of a triangle is this based upon the angles? It's an acute triangle. Observe another thing. Are the two sides of the triangle equal? Yes. Now, what is the angle opposite to this side? 66 degrees. What is the angle opposite to this side? To this side, it is 66 degrees again. So the angles opposite to equal sides are also equal. Let's look at this. Find the measure of angle x. X plus 145 plus 23 should be equal to 180. 145 plus 23 is going to be equal to 168 equals 180. How will we remove plus 168? Minus 168 on both sides. So x is going to be equal to 180 minus 168. 12 degrees. Let's look at the classification. 23 degrees, acute angle. X, which we found out to be 12 degrees, acute angle. But one angle is 145 degrees, greater than 90. So it is an obtuse triangle. It is an obtuse triangle. Let's look at the sides. 10.9 centimeter, 5.8 centimeter, 16 meter. Sorry, all are meters, not centimeters. So all the three sides are different. So what type of a triangle is this based upon the sides? It's a scalene triangle. Scalene triangle.